Hello, friends. Room is going to be painted shortly, so but I needed to come inside because the it's hot out there, and the neighbor is doing a lot of sanding and sawing, and it was pretty loud out there. So here we are inside again. If you have very sensitive knees, movement wise, and injuries, this is not a sequence for you. If you just have sensitive knees, if you put weight on them, like we often pat our knees in child's pose or hand knee work, put a blanket down across your mat, or at least a good width of it. And then go ahead and just come in. You can pause to do that, and then come into an upright posture and just take a couple of moments here to come into the body, right? Start to get a felt sense of where your body is at this moment in time. And anytime I say the word, or the majority of the time anyway, when I say the word body, for me, that is the holistic body, trying to think of all of the body, the subtle body and the gross body. And take just a few moments to tune into the breath. And then go ahead and open the eyes. I want to do just a little beginning awareness, even though we are going to do a quickie and we're looking for something that's a little shorter, right? Just puts us in that place where we're really more mindful. My hands are going to come back. My butt is off of my mat, by the way. I'm facing the long edge of my mat. That's probably going to be best for this sequence, right? My feet are fairly wide. How wide? Well, I'm going to start to toggle back and forth into windshield wiper. And get progressive with it. It doesn't have to be immediate. And so you just want those knees to be, feet to be fairly wide. So you start to move a little bit towards 90-degree angles. If that's not okay for your ankle joints, your knee joints, your hip joints, bring the heels closer to the buttocks, and that will help. I often find that after about 1 to 2 full windshields, my butt's super far forward again. So I scoop my butt back again. And then we're going to kind of start getting right into it. If you need to do this for a little longer, hit pause, right? Otherwise, the next time your knees go over to the right, they're going to stay over to the right. So again, if you need to move the butt back, do. Try to get the legs in 90-degree angles and flex the feet so that your ankles are also 90 degree. I'm going to bring my left hand up and I'm going to frame my right leg, right? And then in my outer left foot, my inner right foot, I'm going to push down when I exhale at like 20, 25%, right? I'm going to inhale and release, and I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to push my feet down into the ground, right? I don't have to be extreme with that. I'm just doing it on every exhale with about 25%. So I start to feel how the muscles in my hips, in and around my hips, it's not just those, but those are some of the big ones we're working, right? That as I push down into the ground, some of those big muscles around my hips have to work. Yeah. And then go ahead and bring the knees up, the hand back, knees up and over. And again, try to find 90-degree angle-ish. Bring it closer if it's not comfortable. And then from there with flexed feet, I'm going to push down on every exhale into my outer left foot, my inner right foot. And you can bring that right hand around and come up a little bit more upright. You can be back. I guess I was just back with it, but I like the upright. Just so I kind of have more of a sense of my elongated spine, I guess, right? And I have to work this hip a little more in order to sit upright, right? And then go ahead and bring those knees back to center. You're going to go right back over to the right. Bring your hand and frame the right leg, 90-degree angle. Now this time, you're going to try to pick your feet up. And you're like, well, but I don't see yours moving. I'm trying. Try not to pick them up from moving the upper body to do it. Then I can pick my feet up all day long, right? Try to keep it in that upright position, but try to lift your feet up off of the earth, not your knees, right? That's another one to be careful about. Lifting the knees is not the same as lifting the foot. That makes a bunch of big muscles up here, right? Try to move. And then go ahead and come on up, go to the other side. So it's okay if they don't lift, right? But try to lift your inner right foot and your outer left foot off the ground with every exhale. So every time I exhale, I'm now trying to lift my foot without moving my upper body, without moving my knees too much anyway. right? And seeing if I can't get a little bit of foot in the air. By the way, when I used to do this on a regular basis, I could get them slightly up off the ground. This tells me how much my hips have weakened and I need to come back to this work. And then go ahead and come back to center. So now we're going to add on. So when we go over to the right with the knees, you're going to you can bring your hands back if you want to work with hands. Otherwise, you're going to bring your hands together and interlace them. The knuckles reaching forward, and you're going to try to come up. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but I pulled my right heel back a little bit to manage that. And that's okay. I'm going to almost sit down and I'm going to pull up. And I'm going to almost sit down and I'm going to pull up. If hands need to be on blocks to the ground, you should do that for yourself. Again, I want you to notice that my knees are on the blanket. This is why I said you might want a blanket. If your knees aren't hurting with this work, awesome. That's great for you. And then we're going to bring the hips all the way back down. Whew. Come back to center. You could have left your hands together, by the way. And we're going to go ahead and tone in the belly. Tone in the belly. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lift my hips up. And I'm going to sink back down to almost touching the floor. And I'm going to lift back up. Is this easier on one side than the other for you? Sure is for me, right? Whew. And breathe. So just some really beautiful conditioning in a lot of those big muscles that are into and through the hips. Come back down. You can do no-handed to bring the knees back over to the right. So this one goes like this. I'm going to try to lift up. I'm going to take my back foot, which is my left foot. I'm going to step it forward. And then I'm going to try to lift up and stand up on my right foot. If you thought that was hard, we're going to try to reverse it. So my right foot, which is the furthest one, the last one I picked up, is going to go back. I'm going to kneel down on it. And then I'm going to bring that left foot back until my knee goes behind my right foot. And I come down onto the ground and come up. We'll do this a couple of times if you're like, whoa. Try to pop up. My back leg, my right leg, the one I can't see, steps forward in front of me. And then I try to lift up onto the left foot. If I can't get all the way up, that's okay. I just stay at stage 2, right? I bring that back leg, my left leg back. I come down on the top of my foot and my knee. I step my right foot and I send it back till I try to get that knee behind my left foot to sit down. So now try to speed that up. Left foot forward, right foot forward, standing. Right leg back. Left knee back and down, sit down. Knees over, come up, right foot forward, left foot forward, I'm standing. Reverse it, left foot and then knee, right knee, and come down. Now I'm going to try not to say it, and you're going to see if you can do that cycle 2 more times. If you need to go a little slower because it's a little complicated still mentally for you, which foot goes when, where, and all the stuff, take your time with it, right? This, by the way, is going to be the big hurrah of the sequence. We're going to do it 1 more time if it's available in your body. If it's not, maybe you're just doing windshield wipers again. Maybe you're just pausing and pushing the feet down into the ground. Whew. I don't know about you, but I feel that. Whew. Come back down and then go ahead and put your right shin in front of your left. Lengthen the spine. You can sit up on height or not. We're not going to be here for long. Folding out forward over the legs. And for some of my friends, that is plenty. And some of my friends, you might even be a lot more upright. You don't never have to look like me. I hope you know that. If you want to try something a little different, be careful of your knee joints. My left foot's very flexed. My left leg is the one closest to me. I bring my right ankle up onto my left knee. I flex my foot. If my knee is really high, I can support it on a block. I try not to really support it until I do whatever my forward fold is, which for me is not going to be very far because I am tight today, right? So right about here is my forward fold. If you can go further, good on you. That's awesome, right? And then I'm going to support that top knee just because it doesn't need to hang. Why not give it a little support system? I am still getting plenty of stretch, even though I'm supporting my right knee. And breathe. It's funny how we try to torture ourselves sometimes, right? I used to, by the way. I used to plenty. I'm keeping my feet flexed for knee protection. Come up. Whatever you were doing, release that down. Put your left shin in front of your right. All of us are going to start there. get tall, right? We're priming for something deeper. Even my friends who are like, I want to be in the other one. That other one's better. Go ahead and start to fold over. There's no pose that is better, right? My body isn't better if it can get into a certain shape. Maybe you come up a little bit, and then I'm going to cross that left ankle on top of my right knee. I elongate, and you can prop here, right? But I like to go into whatever my forward fold is, which this is it today. Okay, awesome. I'm going to come in from the front because my knee's pretty high and I'm not very far in, but my knee comes down a little bit as I initiate the forward fold, and sometimes the block stops me from being able to do that. So I usually fold first, and then I'm like, and then I bring the block into that height. Whew. Breathe, friends. Keep the feet a little flexed. I just reminded myself too, I wasn't flexing. Really keep the knees protected in this pose, please. Come on up, release those legs. You can find your most comfortable seated position for just about maybe 1 more minute, something like that. And as you sit up nice and tall, this one definitely builds a little bit of heat quite quickly. So if you need to stay here, lay down, right, drink water, what do you need to do to make sure you stay cool? My friends in Scotland, you're going to love this because it's going to build some heat for you. My friends who are in the hot areas, please do not overheat yourself. Namaste. Thank you for playing, friends. May you have a great day.